Hello to everybody in the wonderful Dynamics 365 community, and hello to everybody at D365 champs. So this is second in the series called Dynamics Power Mantra. Where did we do the first one from, if you remember? The link is in the description below. But the first one we did was from a paddy field, and we talked about upskilling. And I promised you guys that the next series will be way more formal, in which you will see our office, you will see laptops, weblogs, CRM as well. So that's what we are going to continue in the coming series. And today is the second edition, and we are going to talk about UCI, or Unified Client Interface, how to effectively design in the UCI. So let me quickly take you to a Dynamics 365 CE screen. Alright, so we'll start with the D365 Power Mantra for today, which is designing in UCI. We are going to start with a quick demo of the navigation and UI changes. So let's quickly see on Dynamics 365 screen, what are the main changes which have been done to the navigation. So traditionally, if you are used to the web client, the menu will fall down on you. In here, you have more a drawer kind of user interface where you can collapse and expand your menu. So some quick things to know. Where has my recently viewed items moved? So they have moved towards this part. Where can I pin certain items? So let's say I pin Alpine Ski House, which I'm going to use a bit later. So if I expand my pinned items, that's where Alpine Ski House is staying. I'm going to use that in the later part of this demonstration, so I'm just keeping it over there. What else are the navigation changes? If I want to collapse this particular one, I can do that now. And this is really neat, and it's a good use of my real estate. And I can really expand on my dashboard and do my whatever is required. If I hover over any of the links, they are going to expand over. So let's look at accounts in the navigation screen very quickly. So if I expand on accounts, you see the speed of this UCI, which is the Unified Client Interface. It's lightning quick, right? And here is my screen, and which has opened up. And let's look on the form design now. So if I open any of these forms, you can see that the particular tabs have now moved into more of parallel kind of tabs rather than being spaced out at a distance from each other. So if I see summary and then I see details, these are parallel tabs. And where is my related set of records gone? So here is where I can see all my related records. I'll need to change a bit on the area of the screen to move it up a bit to show the quick create changes. So this is where my related all the records have gone. So let's say I'm looking for contacts, that's where it has gone. What about my quick creates? So if I launch any of the quick creates, the menu is going to be launched, or the form is going to be launched from the right hand side of the screen. So you can clearly see that the real estate has been used really well over here again. So I'm just going to cancel it. One of the quick new things that I've found really useful is the ability to move to the other records in the view without necessarily going to the view again. So if I expand this little icon or little button over here, I see all my active accounts, and I can really move to another record without really moving away from the screen, so which is kind of neat. So that's in short of the UI and navigation changes at a very high level. Let me go ahead and see what we are going to see otherwise. Profile cards. So let's have a quick demo of profile cards. So many times I used to be asked that I wish to see certain details of my contact without necessarily needing to hover over, and I don't wish to actually just use a quick create, because quick create is the quick view, which is a good way of seeing the relevant details, but I want to see more details than that. And maybe I want some quick action like send an email, or I want to start chatting with this contact. So how do I go about that doing that? So the profile card, just similar to Office 365, have been introduced in Dynamics 365 as well. So if I just hover over any of this context, I get this profile card, and I can do a send email or I can do a chat. If I want to see more details, I can just do a show more, where I can see further details for this contact. Similar is available for the user. So if I expand here and try to find my user, which is this one, it's going to give me another kind of a profile card over here. So at this stage, these are all limited to contacts as well as users and are not editable. But however, this is a good use case to start using, and very quick one which UCI introduces to you out of box without having the need to do anything. Where was this enabled? By chance, if this is disabled on your organization, you will need to go into the settings, and then you need to go into administration, and here you have one for system settings. If you go down on here, you have one for enabling the profile cards, enable user to view contact cards. By default is set to yes. In my case, you can turn it off as well if you don't want to use it. If you're upgrading or by any other means this is disabled, you can always go to that system setting to enable and start using this one. Next one. So what's the next one on my card? That's a reference panel. I really like this feature a lot. So if I quickly go into a reference panel demo, I will just use the pinned item that I had done in the first part of the demo. So I'll go to Alpine Ski House, and I can see here that under Alpine Ski House, one way of seeing this related records subgrids is I have all the contacts over here. I have the recent opportunities and cases. But what a reference panel really does is that I can just click on the reference panel here. I put a tab name with the demo, which is not realistic, but just to showcase the panel here. And these are my contacts. I can always give different kinds of grid icons to this particular part. So these are all my contacts, and these are my opportunities. So this is again a neat use of the real estate that is available to us. And if I click them, that's where it gets really interesting. So let's see, I open up one of them. Okay, for some reason this is not clickable, guys. I'll move to the other one. So what I can do with the reference panel is I can just, that's what I wanted to showcase. You can just directly see the details here without needing to necessarily navigate away, and that's really neat. So I can again close it and again move back to what I wanted. Right, so that's what a reference panel does. So how did I enable the reference panel? I have customizations open here, the form. So what you need to do is you need to go into insert, and in the section you have one reference panel area. So I can only put one reference panel per area. So if I just select this again, it's going to say cannot add more than one in the one demo that I had already created, right? So that's a quick way of putting it up, and then you can put as many subgrids or quick view forms inside, right? Next one and the last one for this particular power mantra is timeline control. So the timeline control has really been enhanced in this particular UCI interface. If you go and see this timeline control, I have all my different kinds of activities, my auto post, everything appearing over here. But what's really neat is I have the ability to open a filter pane right here in the timeline. And what that will do is it will allow me the ability to filter this data further. I'm just waiting for that to be loaded in. So if I wait, so what I can do is I can do it by record type. So I have two activities. I can filter for those activities. I have an appointment due basically. Okay, and then I can close this filter pane. But what's really good about the timeline control is the fact that what you can do here. So if I do a plus and a phone call, for people who have been using Dynamics CRM for a while, we know that the phone call is never available for a kind of editing. This particular area of the screen was completely locked down. Here you launch a quick create. That means I can really edit this as per the requirement of my customer, right? So these are some enhancements. The node control stays as is, and then you can always refresh without needing the entire page refresh, which is also pretty neat. So that's the real advantage of UCI. And let me talk about the last tip for this particular demo, which is the ability of this particular interface to be very, very responsive, and why it is called a unified client. So let me shrink the screen a bit if I can. Yep, and I'm going to shrink this up. So see, the screen size just filters out for the appropriate need, which is neat, and I can further try to shrink it. So if I shrink it, that's how my UCI is going to look like close to on a phone device, right? So that is the real use case where UCI is of good use. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, do share your feedback and share in your social networks. Power 365 as usual. If you have any Dynamics 365 Power Platform, field service or PSA needs, do feel free to contact us here at Dynamicity. Thank you again, and bye-bye. Deepesh signing off.